Hi, welcome to NicheCraft. My name is Cassie and I'm your host, and today I'm going to teach you how to make a granny square. And yes, I've been paying attention to you guys. A lot of you guys have been mentioning in a previous video that something you're missing about winter, it's not completely over yet, but we are in March now, officially, is that you're gonna miss being able to crochet a nice warm blanket and keeping you warm as you're crocheting it or knitting it. For those of you who are knit, this is going to be a crochet granny square though, just wanted to be clear. And I was thinking about it and I was like, you know what, you're right. It's, it's gonna be something that will be missed. However, in the spring and summer months, it's a really great time to start working on granny square projects. I know it can be kind of a pain to tie them all together and all of that, but this is a good one, okay? This is one that just about every crocheter needs to know. And if you're a beginner, don't get nervous. I've got you covered. This might not include all of the standard basic crochet stitches, but I'm going to walk you through how to make each part of this, and it's only going to be 4 rounds, okay? So that means that we've got 1 color per round, and I've chosen different colors because I want to make sure it's really easy for you guys to see. And I'm even going to show you different kinds of color palettes you can use for this particular granny square. So what granny square I'm going to teach you today, that is going to be the iconic sunflower granny square. Yeah, every crocheter's got to get this one down. Even if you don't want to make a blanket, if you want to make maybe a purse or something, or you just want to make one of those sunflower squares, this is a great one. And it's not hard either. Like I said, beginners, I've totally got you. Those of you who are intermediate, you'll probably find this very easy. So first, let me talk about the different colors. So a sunflower has a brown in the middle with all of those sunflower seeds that a lot of people love. And a good color to choose for that. Now I went into my own stash, okay? So these are the colors I already had. Is this Caron Simply Soft in taupe, all right? Taupe, taupe. And I thought this would be a good color, especially since I had this kind of autumnal palette right here. The next color now, traditionally, the next color is going to be an orange. So I picked Caron Simply Soft in Pumpkin, okay? I thought that this went really good together, but I'll give you an alternate in just a minute. And then you're going to also need a yellow, definitely. So I picked gold from my Caron Simply Soft stash. And then the 4th color that you're going to need for certain is going to be a green. Now, usually people like to use a darker green than this. This was the only green that I had that would match this. I had some teals, but I didn't think that would make a good match. This is Caron Simply Soft in Sage, and so I just wanted to mention that. Now, Caron Simply Soft is one of those discount yarns, or it's budget-friendly yarn, let's put it that way. It's acrylic, very soft. You can see the sheen on it. Very, very soft, very nice. Again, it's just really great. And if you want something with a lot of color dynamics, which this project will have, definitely going for these first 3 colors would be what I would recommend. But for the green, I'd recommend looking through their colors and finding one that's darker green than this. Just know this is my stand-in because I already have it, and you know, hey, I'm working with what I have. So I have noticed that more modern sunflower granny squares have been leaving out the orange. Now, that's cool, you know, and that's completely fine. And I wanted to give you an alternate color palette for that. So we've got the taupe, and then we've got the gold standing in instead of the orange. And then we have another Caron Simply Soft, and just in a lighter yellow. And this lighter yellow is called Autumn Maze. And it's kind of like it's like a medium yellow color. Now there's another color called the Sunny, which is a little bit brighter, but it's also not as dark as the gold. And then there's an even softer, more pastel color that I've seen before, but I haven't seen it recently. So I'm not going to mention that one, but just know that they have a lot of different options for yellow. However, if you want to use a yellow palette instead of throwing in that orange, I would suggest using more like this dark yellow and gold, and then a lighter, paler yellow like this, or a more medium yellow, just enough to see the difference between those colors. That's all we're really looking for. But for this purpose, I'm going to be using some colors that contrast very, very well, so we can keep track of every single round. And guess what? This is only going to be 4 rounds. And again, it's easy. I think you guys are going to like it. So let's get started. So your starting color in a sunflower granny square is going to be the brown. And so I'm looking at this. It's a 4 weight, and it suggests the 5mm H hook, and that just happens to be what I have here. So you can see it's 5mm, or over here we've got the H and the 5mm. I would suggest that if you want to go a little bit smaller, a G hook or a 4.5mm hook would be fine, and an I hook would be fine, but anything higher than an I hook would probably be too big. Now, just because I'm going to be thorough on everything, you're going to need to find the center pole here, which can be difficult for some companies. I've found with Karen Simply Soft it's not that difficult. And I'm just going to go ahead and give a little bit of a tug on that. Oh no, I've got some yarn barf. Or what is this called? Yarf? Is that what it's called? Well, since this happened, I can just show you real easily how just got to be gentle with it. Don't get really forceful, and it'll just come out just fine. All right, so now that I've shown you that, we are going to make a slip knot here, okay, and put that slip knot on our hook. All right, so in order to work in the round, first we have to create a round. Now, some people know how to make that magic loop, and if you do, go ahead and do that. So if you don't know how to make the magic loop, I'm going to suggest that you change 5. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to chain 5, and then we are going to join this with a slip stitch. And how you do that is you put your hook back into that first chain, pull through that chain, and then continue to pull through the last chain that you had. Okay, so here we've got a little ring we can work into. All right. Okay, so here is round 1. We're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Oops. All right, so this chain 3 in this round is going to count as a double crochet. Just wanted to make sure you guys knew that. And that's going to play in more in the second round, but I just wanted you guys to know. So now we're going to yarn over, and we're going to put a double crochet into that loop there. All right, and now we're going to do that 14 more times for a total of 16 double crochets. All right, and we're going to call that 16 double crochets because that chain 3 is counting as a double crochet. So at this point I have 3, 1, 2, 3, and here's my 4th one. I'm going to continue doing that until I have 16. So I'll meet you once I've put 16 double crochets all in here. So I've just made my 13th stitch. I just want to show you. All you have to do is just kind of push them together to make more room. And so here is 14. Here is 15. Let's see. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And this is my 16th double crochet stitch. So now that I have made that, I'm going to find the 3rd on that chain 3. I'm going to put my hook in there, pull a loop through, and then pull a loop through my last chain, okay? And we are done with our brown, okay? So this is what it should look like. For those of you who made a magic loop, of course this is gonna make more of a difference, but you might wanna pull a little bit on this tail you have here to close up that hole. And that should work whether or not you make the magic loop or not. So we're done with brown. So here's how we're going to do this. We're going to chain through. I've got some snips over here. At least that's what I've always been told these are called. I don't know if they're called scissors or snips, or if it's a brand that snips, but just so you know, that's why I'm calling them that. And I'm going to go ahead and cut that, pull that loop, and it's time to move on to our row 2. All right, so I have my orange now, and with row 2, we are going to add the next color to the round underneath one of these stitches right here, okay? And so I'm going to just go ahead and pick this one, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a loop through like that, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this loop through, and I am going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is this is just how we're joining. Let me go ahead and zoom in here, actually, so you guys can see a little bit better. All right, so you add the color, and then you chain 3, right? And now we're going to make what's called a puff stitch. It might seem like it's a little bit difficult, okay? No worries, it's gonna be easy, it's gonna be fine. And the way that I like to make this is by doing this 4 times. For those of you who are beginners, if you have an issue with doing it 4 times, then just do it 3 times. It's gonna look just as good, it's gonna look just fine. I personally like the petals to be more poofy, let's just put it that way. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna yarn over as if we're going to make a double crochet. I'm gonna put the hook underneath that same place where we attached, right? We're gonna pull up a loop. All right, this time, but we're not gonna finish that. We're just gonna kind of pull it up so it is the same size as that chain 3. Now we're gonna now we're gonna do this a second time. We're gonna yarn over, go back into that same place, pull up a loop, kind of pull it up so that it'll be as tall as the chain 3. Okay, I'm gonna need to pull out some yarn here, okay? So that is the second time that I've done that. Now I'm gonna do it a third time. Yarn over, pull up a loop, pull it back up. Then I'm gonna do it one more time. Okay, so I have a lot of loops on my hook here. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I've got 9 loops on my hook, okay? And now we're going to hook onto that yarn here from our working side, and we're going to turn the hook downwards. That way it won't snag on any of those, and we're going to pull it through all of those loops. Okay, and then to finish, we're just going to chain 1 like this, okay, and then we're going to go in underneath the very next stitch, which is this one right there. Okay, so we yarn over, go through and pull up a loop. That's the first time. Then we're going to do it a second time. All right, and then we're going to do it a third time. You know, every time we're going to be pulling this up just to make sure it's the same size. Now, those of you who are beginners and might not feel as comfortable with this method, you might want to stop here. Otherwise, I suggest you do it a 4th time. All right, and then we pull through all of those loops there. Okay, and then we are going to chain 1. And that kind of closes it off, all right? And now we're going to do that again. And we're going to do this underneath every single stitch here. And when we're done going under every single stitch, and this is going to include this stitch right here, okay, then we will have 16 of these little puff stitches, okay? So I'm going to do it with you guys one more time. So we're going to yarn over, pull up one, that's one, there's two, there's three, and there's four. Okay, looks like I split my yarn there. Okay, and then we pull through all of those. Then we chain one. Okay, all right guys, so we have just finished this third one, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and take them through even this place where we've joined, because I want to make sure you guys see, you know, that there's nothing different with the place where we joined. So I'm going to be doing two more, and then I will let you guys do the rest of these petals on your own. And so I'll leave you then, okay? So we're going to do this one more time. This is the next stitch. If it looks like it's been stretched a little bit, it's because I started to record this and then baby started meowing in the background. I was like, oh no. So baby's my cat, just so you know. Anyway, here we go. We're going to do it once. Okay, we're not going to finish it. We're going to do it twice. Okay, again, pulling it up, trying to make it, you know, just as tall as the rest of them. There's that third time, and here is that fourth time. Might be a little awkward to beginners. It's totally okay to do it 3 times instead of 4. I just personally like to do it 4 times. And so, okay, so now it's time for us to go under where all of these different, where this kind of gap is here. Now, you can choose to go either under the slip stitch right here, okay? Or you can choose to go in right here. I would personally tell you to go in under the slip stitch, okay? Right there, okay? So we're gonna yarn over, or go over here, and pull up a loop. Now we wanna get it nice and big here. And then we're gonna go in there the second time. Third time. Beginners might want to stop here, but I like to do a 4th time here. So we are going to go under here a 4th time, pull up a loop, then we're going to pull through all of those loops. Seems like it's a little bit tighter for me on this one. Kind of lost that loop a little bit, but got it back. So here we go. So I've got that. I'm going to chain 1. And then the next one we go into, all I did was pull this down. I didn't do anything other than pulling it down. It just looked like it closed it up a little bit, but that's just because I pulled it down, okay? So next thing we're going to do is we're going to locate that next loop right here. We're going to go under it, and we're going to do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull all the way through, and then stitch 1. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that means that we should have 10 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, so now that we have done 6 of them, I'm pretty sure that you're able to do the next 10. When we come to the last petal here in orange, I will meet back up with you. But you just continue to do this under every single one of these stitches until we get back to the round, and then we're going to switch to our gold. All right, guys, see you then. Alright guys, so I have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and this is my 16th and my last one here, and you can see that chain 3 on here. So now I am going to do that puff stitch again. 1, 2, 2, 3. Beginners might want to end here, but I'm going to do that fourth one here, and then I'm going to pull through all of those loops, and I counted them. There are actually 9 of those loops. Okay, then we are going to chain 1 and join here at the top here with a slip stitch. Okay, pull it, and I'm just going to keep on pulling, and I'm going to snip that off. So there's something I want to show you about when you're making this that will probably help you a lot, and that is when you're done with each round, you can kind of pull on it in every direction. You can kind of let it kind of breathe out, because it is getting bigger as we're going bigger. It just might not seem like it immediately. All right, so here we have our center in our first row. So here is round 3. So remember how we were chaining at the end of each one of these? That's because we're going to make the petals of round 3 in between each one of these puff stitches, okay? And just like before, we can add it anywhere. Let's go ahead and I'm going to just pick right here, and I'm going to just kind of pull this through here like this. Okay, so I've pulled that through just like that, and now I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. So now, instead of doing that puff stitch, we're going to double crochet. In this particular one, we're going to double crochet 3 together, okay? And because this is going to count as a double crochet. And then in each other one, we're going to do it 4 times. But this is basically just, we're going to double crochet, but we're going to leave off the very last step, okay? And I'll explain that right here. So we are in round 3, and here is our first double crochet 3 together. Okay, first we go under there, and we pull up a loop. Okay, and if we're double crocheting, we're going to pull through those next 2, right? But when we double crochet 3 together, we just leave that, and then we're going to do it again. Okay, and we yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2, and then it's like we've decided that we're not going to stop. Okay, we're just going to go on to the next one. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, and then this is the 3rd double crochet, and pull up a loop, pull through 2. Let me make sure I did that right. Okay, pull through 2. All right, so we have this chain 3 and then 3 double crochets, and then we pull through all of these 4 loops here, and this is going to be the equivalent of double crocheting 3 together. All right, now we're going to chain 2. 1, 2. All right, next we're going to put our next petal like this right here in between these puff stitches again. This time we're going to double crochet 4 together, and that's the way we're going to do it for the rest of this. We just did it with 3 to begin with, because this chain 3 is going to count as that double crochet. So yarn over, pull up a loop, okay, pull through 2 just like we'd normally double crochet, but don't finish it. Yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2, but we're not going to finish that double crochet. We're going to do it again. This is the 3rd time, pull through 2. We're going to keep those all on our hook, and we're going to do it that 4th time, pull through the first 2, and then we're going to pull through all of them, because now we've got 4 double crocheted stitches, and they're all together just like that. Then we're going to chain 2. All right, now we are going to go in between the next one, do it again, pull up a loop, pull through 2, but we're not going to finish it. It's just like we've decided that, you know what, we're gonna do it again. And here's the 3rd double crochet, and then here's the 4th double crochet. Might seem a little bit scary to say, oh, double crochet 4 together. What? Oh, it's really not that hard when you realize the principle behind it. So now we've got 3 of these beautiful yellow petals, and we're going to go in for the next one. And again, we're just going to do 4 double crochets. It's just we're not going to finish it at the end. We're just going to pull through 2 and then leave the rest of those loops on the hook. Pull through 2, just forget about those loops. We're gonna take care of them when we're done doing the 4th one, which is right there. And now we're gonna pull through all of those loops there and chain 2. All right, and we're just gonna continue to do this in between each one of these until we get all the way around to the very last stitch, which we will place right here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move on until I get all the way around here, and when I get to this last stitch right here, I will meet back up with you and we'll talk about how to finish off, and then we'll do the last round. All right guys, so I have finished my second to last petal. I've just got one more to do, and if mine looks a little bit different from yours, it's because I keep tugging on it, you know, all around here so that that flower will really be spread out nicely. Now you can wait to do that to the end, or you don't need to do it at all. It's just the way that I like it. I like it to look nice and pretty, but I mean, not that it's not going to look pretty if you don't tug on it, but that's just my preference. And so now I have chained 2, and the last thing I have to do is to put my petals for my round 3 right here in between these 2 puff stitches. So we are going to yarn over and act like we're going to double crochet. We're going to finish that first, but we're going to leave that on the hook. We're going to do it a second time. Okay, and then a third time. And then that 4th time here. Now we're going to pull them all the way through all of that. We're going to chain 2, just like we did before. Then we're going to find the top of this chain here, and we're going to go ahead and just go into the top of this chain and slip stitch to finish off our 3rd row. So I've got that slip stitch. I'm going to pull through it, snip it off. I'm leaving, my tails are really big here that I'm leaving, but I'm just doing it so that you guys can see, you know, that's how I'm doing it. So, you know, speaking of tails, let's go ahead and take care of some of our tails now. Now, of course, you can wait to the end to do this, but I just want to show you how easy it is. When we're making the granny squares, there's definitely a right side, and then there's the wrong side. The wrong side just looks wrong, you know, and you'll even be able to see it even after I hide my tails here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go under these gold petals here, and I'm going to hook onto this gold thread here, this gold yarn right here, and I'm going to just pull it underneath there, and I can just keep pulling it underneath as many of these as I want, you know. Generally a couple is good, you know. It's not like the string's really going to go anywhere. I could even take it down to where the orange puff stitches are and put it behind those puff stitches, just as long as it's nice and hidden. Then I can snip it off, and if I pull on it, it'll just disappear right behind that petal. Yeah, and let's go ahead and do the same thing with this one. Let's go ahead and hide it behind these gold ones. And again, I'm just showing you this. You know, I said before when I was doing lots of tutorials in last spring, just how I like to show people how to do every single bit of this, including hiding tails, even if it's a little bit, you know, like, yeah, we get it. Because when I was learning, nobody ever told me. It was just like, and then hide your tails. And it's like, well, how do I do it? It's like, well, hide them. And it's just so confusing to me. I'm one of those people that need to be shown, demonstrated, told exactly how to do everything, or else I'm just not going to get it. So again, I'm just going to go ahead and do this with this orange one. I'm going to hide it behind these orange puff stitches. That'll look nice and pretty. And if it, if you can see a little bit of that poking through, it's not going to be that big of a deal because it'll blend in with those colors. Besides, we're on the quote-unquote wrong side, so it's okay if we see a little bit of those threads, but we're going to go ahead and snip that off now, right there. Like I said, I really made my ends a little bit too big, and I mean, I'll just go ahead and do the same thing here. Just wanted to show you how to do at least a few of them so you knew how, and that's how you hide your ends. And you can even do that as you're working on each one. It's just that I haven't been doing that. So now we're turning it around, we're looking at the pretty side, and again, I'm just going to go ahead and tug on that. We are on our very, very last row, and this is going to be the finishing row. So I'm going to switch to my sage green. Again, if you want this to be perfect, quote unquote, then you might want to use a darker green color. Oh, we've got some more yarn. I usually don't experience this with the Karen. I'm actually really surprised that happened twice, but that's okay. We can do something about that. Now I've got my little llama friend here so that I know that this is the center. Because see, watch, if I zoom in, there he is, and I zoom out, I know as long as I keep my hands around right here when I'm crocheting, then it's not going to go out of the frame. So that's what he's there for, and he's already kind of worn out about being stuck there. But anyway, so like I said before, we went ahead and we chained 2. This is how we're going to finish this, and this is also a kind of a magical time because we are going to turn this into a square. We're going from the round to a square. Here's how we're going to do this. Okay, first we just kind of pull that loop through, and then we are going to chain 4. Okay, all right, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and I'll show you how you can kind of hide your tails as we go. Okay, so I'm just going to put that right there. Now we're going to treble crochet 2 more stitches, and this is going to count as our first treble crochet. All right, so that means we yarn over twice. Okay, let me go ahead and zoom in a little bit so you can see that. I don't want to be too close. So we yarn over twice. Let me show you again. All right, so we've got those four stitches, or I'm sorry, the 4 chains. We are yarning over twice. Okay, and we're going to go back in that same place where we joined. And since I'm going to try to hide this yarn as we go, I'm just going to kind of hold that there with my thumb. Okay, so we're going to go under there, and we're going to pull up a loop. And a treble crochet is just like a double, is that we pull through 2 and then we pull through 2 again. It's just we do it a 3rd time. All right, so if you kind of think about a crochet as pulling through 2 loops, in a single crochet you pull through 2 loops once. In a double crochet you pull through 2 loops twice. In a triple crochet you pull through 2 loops 3 times. So watch this. So we've yarned over twice. All right, and now we're going to go underneath. We're going to pull up a loop. I'm going to pull through 2 once, 2, 3 times, and that is our triple crochet. So now we are going to chain 1. Okay, we're going to go in between the next 2 petals right here. Okay, and now we're going to do 3 double crochets, because remember, this counts as 1 of the trebles, so we've got 3 equivalent of treble crochets there. Now we're going to do 3 double crochets. So there's 1. Okay, there's 2, just regular double crochets. Okay, and here's 3. Alrighty, so we got that. Now we're gonna chain 1. We chain 1 in between these. Okay, then we're gonna do 3 half double crochets. All right, there's 1, 2, 3. All right. So you might be able to see how we're turning this into a square. If not yet, that's fine. We're going to just chain 1 here and go on. Next time, here we're going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. All right. Now, to finish this side of the square, let me go ahead and zoom out just a little bit more so you guys can see real well. We're going to do 3 treble crochets right here. Okay. There's 1. And again, chain between these. There's 2. And here is 3. All right, so we have done one side of the square. Now, when we make granny squares, I've said this before in previous tutorials, but just to kind of make sure you guys think about it the way that, you know, kind of helps understand why we add certain things at certain points, is that we make 4 sides, but we also make four corners, because all squares have 4 sides and 4 corners, right? So now we have to make that corner because we are in the corner. We're about to start this side, right? So we need to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now we're going to go back right here because this side, we've just made the corner, and now we've got to start the side right here. Okay. And we're going to put 3 more triple crochets right here because this is the beginning of the second side. So 1, 2, 3. There's the first triple crochet. There's the second. And here is the 4th triple crochet, or third triple crochets. These are groups of 3. If you've ever worked on just a regular granny square, they're groups of 3. So they're going with that traditional thing here. Okay, so we have one side, one corner, and the beginning of the next side. So we've done the triple. Next, we're going to do the double. So we're going to do 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3. Now that we've done those double crochets, we're going to chain 1 and we're going to go to the half double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Chain 1. Now we're going to go back up to the double crochets. And now we're going to finish this side by chaining 1 and then making the triple crochets right here. So we're going to do 3 triple crochets. So there's 1. 2, 3. All right, just got to pull out some more. And you know how I said before how I like to kind of pull on it to make it look nice and pretty? You don't have to do it now, but I like to do it here so I can just kind of visualize this a little bit better. So we've got one side, one corner, a second side. Now we're going to make that second corner by chaining 3. 1, 2, 3. All right. So now we're going to start on the next side. We are going to start with the 3 triple crochets. Now those of you who've already got the pattern down, I'm sure you can go on ahead of me, and that's fine. But I'm just going to go ahead and work with you guys through the whole round just to make sure you guys understand exactly how to do it. So we've got our third side's got a little bit on it now. Okay, so then we've got 2 corners. 1, 2. There's a third side. Okay, here we go. We're going to put it in between each one of these petals just like we have been. Chain 1, double crochet 3, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, half double crochet 3, okay, chain 1. Now we're going to double crochet 3. I'm going to get more slack out of here. 1, 2, 3, and now we're going to chain 1 and we're going to do the treble crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3 sides. All right, let's go ahead and just zoom on out even more. There we go. We've got 1, 2, 3 sides, 2 corners. Time to make another corner so we can do this 4th side. So we are going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. This is our corner. And then we're going to go back in the same spot and we're going to put 3 triple crochets right there. 1, 2, 3. All right. Again, you know how I am. I like to kind of pull on it and see how that's looking. Like it. Okay, chain 1 in between each one of these clusters. We are going to double crochet 3. 1, 2, 3. Chain 1, half double crochet 3. Chain 1, we are double crocheting 3, chain 1, and right here we're going to need to make our last triple crochets for this side. Okay, so we in this place right here where we've already did the equivalent of 3 double crochet or 3 triple crochets at the very beginning, we're going to do that again. Yarn over twice, and we're going to put 3 triple crochets right there. So let's see if we can figure out what is missing. Okay, so we have all 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have 1, 2, 3 corners. So what's missing right here is the corner that's going to connect these 2 sides. And all you have to do at that point is chain 3. 1, 2, 3. There's our corner. And we're going to slip stitch into that last triple crochet right there. Pull through like that. I'm going to use my snips here, get that out of the way, and do my final tug on it, and we have that beautiful sunflower granny square. Look at that. Oh, it's so pretty. Yeah. All right, and again, you don't have to use orange. You can use yellow in the middle as well. We're gonna go ahead and turn to this wrong side. I'm gonna show you how you can hide these ends here at the very end, because you know, not being able to tell you guys that's kind of leaving you without a complete tutorial. I'm gonna just put my hook underneath these loops here of green, and grab a hold of that green thread and pull it all the way through like that. That's good. And now I can either pull it through here or pull it through this one. I think I'm going to go ahead and just pull it through this one here. Don't need a whole bunch in order to secure that away. Then I'm just going to go ahead and pull this through these just to make sure it is nice and secure. Now some people are gonna, you know, they're gonna want to hide it in different ways. They're gonna want it to be even more secure than the way that I'm doing it. But this is enough for me personally. So if there's a way that you want to hide it that's different from the way that I'm doing it, just know do what makes you feel like your yarn is nice and hidden and secure as well. Just, you don't have to do exactly what I'm telling you to do here. Looks like there's a little piece of yarn that I hid behind there too. So yeah. And now for these, I think I'm gonna hide this brown one underneath these puff stitches. Probably gonna be easier here. Let's see here if I can get it underneath these as well. Okay. And you just pull it to make sure that's hidden. Now, when I was doing my first ones here, I was working over on top of that loop right there. So I don't think this is going to need much hiding past just a little bit here. So I'm just going to hide it some more under these because it's already been crocheted around all the, like the first time. The first round was already done on top of this. So I'm going to pull it through there. You know, if I wanted to be really sure, I would just loop it all the way around, you know. But it's not going to go anywhere, you know. And again, you might want to tug on that just to close in that circle. Snip it. And I'm going to go to the other side, and we're going to tug on this a little bit and make sure it's nice and as even as possible here. Now, there's something called blocking that you can do now to make sure that this is the exact size that you want it to do. For that, you'd need a blocking board and some pins. So how about in another video, I will teach you how to block one of these squares. But for this video, I think that we've covered exactly everything you need to do in order to make this beautiful sunflower granny square. You can make this and use it as a pocket on a sweater. You can make a purse out of it. You can make a blanket out of it. Just anything you want. One thing that's nice about granny squares is that they're not too heavyweight. So when you work on them during the hotter months, it's not going to weigh you down and make you too hot. Hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you enjoyed it, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to me, you might want to. I have a lot of tutorials, but I hand dye yarn. I do hand dyed yarn videos once a week. I love mystery boxes from yarn companies, so I open those on Mondays. I do a Wellness Wednesday, which I'll be doing later on today. And I even have giveaways, and if you have not entered the most recent giveaway, you're going to need to find that video and enter, because we've got a lot of really cool stuff in that giveaway. Thank you guys so much for watching to the end. I will see you soon in another video. Bye for now.